Hey, it's your boy the Token Otaku coming at you again with another manga review. If you guys enjoy the video, please leave your boy a like and a subscribe. And if you have anything to say about the chapter, please leave a comment down below. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Eleceed chapter 342 begins with Arthur talking to one of the Bryan family who asks him why he doesn't want to become the heir. And Arthur tells him the same thing he told the family head, that he doesn't believe he is fit for the position. The family member remarks that is a disappointing before telling Arthur that Vesper went to meet Ji Woo and that she rushed off yesterday saying she was going to fix things, but he doesn't think that that's all she's planning. Arthur inquires what he means, and the family member assumes that Vesper probably went to try and seduce him. Arthur is perplexed, and he continues stating that she lost her position as heir before she got to enjoy it, and is even lower than she was before, so it's obvious that she is trying to create a connection with Caden's disciple so she can stay relevant because she will gain power if she marries him. He finishes by telling Arthur that most of the young people who follow her are after her looks, and that she has a few influential guys under her thumb, surmising that is why she's after Caden's disciple. Just a thought on that. I'm thinking that maybe the quote-unquote influential guys that she knows is going to be how we end up having some sort of like conflict or fight in this, I guess, mini arc. Also, I couldn't 100% read Arthur on what he was kind of feeling or thinking right here. Like, I can't tell if he's more annoyed that Vesper's trying this or he's more actually scared for Ji Woo, but continuing on from there. The chapter then cuts to Ji Young working in her office as In Hyuk informs her that Black and White left and that Vesper and Ji Woo are having a one-on-one talk. He continues, saying he doesn't know what they would have to talk about alone. The chapter cuts to Vesper apologizing to Jiwoo for being rude. Jiwoo says that it is fine and she doesn't have to worry. She thanks him and she begins thinking that things will be easier than she thought, and that she assumes Jiwoo is foolish because he could have gotten a lot more from her accident but didn't, so she should contact the family to tell them that things have been resolved. Jiwoo tells her that Arthur already apologized and that he wasn't that bothered, so he already told him not to worry about it. She thinks that it will seem like Arthur resolved the issue. Jiwoo then asks why she came to see him. Vesper tells him that she came to say that the Bryan family would like to ensure a healthy relationship with him going forward. Jiwoo inquires what that means, and she says that they will fully support him whether he needs a place to train, somewhere to stay, money, a car, and that he only needs to ask. Continuing that, they will also give him legal aid if he ever needs it. Jiwoo asks why they would offer him so much when he doesn't have anything to offer them back, and she responds that there is no need to provide anything, and that they aren't expecting anything in return. Jiwoo then asks why they would do that for him. And Jiwoo is asking the smart questions because it makes no sense for them to give him all of this for him to not give them anything in return. Like, there's obviously strings attached some way, somehow. He would have got caught up in some BS dealing with the Bryan family. But let's keep rolling through the chapter. She explains that organizations like theirs support awakeners to grow their strength, saying that the stronger that they become, the more support they get, and that world rankers are given the best treatment. She continues saying that as Caden's disciple, he has influence on par with that of a world ranker, and his recent actions are also part of the reason that they want a friendly relationship with him, telling him that he can enjoy their treatment as well. Vesper thinks about how Caden has never kept any organization or people around him and has never taken support either, and she assumes that Ji Woo wants to enjoy the power he has gained at such a young age and that he can't decline such a tempting offer. Vesper then says that she would personally like to have a friendly relationship with him, and after he asks what she means by that, she continues saying that they can become closer as man and woman. She then begins to think that Jiwoo is shocked and that she has never had a man refuse her, and since he is young and foolish. But before she can finish that thought, Jiwoo tells Vesper that he has someone that he likes, so he won't be able to have such a close relationship with her. And Vesper is shocked and can't believe that she was rejected. But before she can even come to terms with that, he continues saying that he is grateful for the offer from the Bryan family, but he will also be declining that. because it would feel uncomfortable receiving support to maintain a friendly relationship, saying that it would become burdensome. She then tries to tell him that he should think about it, and he tells her that his decision wouldn't change no matter what, and that even though he is grateful for the offer, he hopes that she wouldn't try to do anything like this again, before saying if she has nothing else to talk about, that he's gonna head out. After he leaves, Vesper is completely shocked and thinks that she can't leave it like this and that she'll be thrown out of the family if she goes back now, vowing to do whatever it takes to make Jiwoo hers. Okay, so a lot of thoughts about what just happened in this part of the chapter, and I'm going to try to make it quick and do my best not to ramble. First, it was good to hear Jiwoo acknowledge that he likes Ji Young. I know he didn't literally say her name here, but it's obvious, and it'll even become more obvious as we continue on to the rest of this chapter. Secondly, I was wondering if Vesper even has the authority to make the offer that she's making to Jiwoo right now. Like, I know that if she went back and he had already said yes to either of the things that she had offered, they would authorized it and been like, okay, fine, we'll give him these things. But now that he's told her no, if it gets back to them, I wonder if that's going to be a big issue that she was even offering things to him. Continuing on in that thought, it was good to see him turn down what was obviously a trap. Like, we're going to give you a whole bunch of money and you don't got to pay it back. That's not like a 360 deal to me. And obviously, why would he want to be with Vesper, especially after they had their interaction at the event and she pretty much threatened him? It just feels like this was a bad plan from the start. Sorry, just hurting my brain to even think about how ridiculous this plan is. It is actually delusional. And now Vesper has also added the second D, denial. Now we got double D's out here. I still have a few thoughts on what was talked about during this part of the chapter, but I'd like to get into that at the end. So we are going to cut back to Jiwoo entering Ji Young's office after the talk, and he tells her about the Bryan family's offer to support him and give him somewhere to train, as well as a new place to live and cars and etc. And Ji Young asks him if he wants those things, and saying that Shinwa can offer to support him, and that not just them, but as a nation, all the organizations would probably support him. And the only reason that she hadn't offered was because she didn't think that he would like it. Jiwoo tells her that she is right and that he has enough, so he rejected the offer. He then also tells Ji Young about Vesper's offer to become closer as man and woman, and tells her that he rejected her and told her that he had someone that he already liked. Ji Young then takes his hand and says that they should go get something to eat as she hasn't eaten all day, and Ji Woo agrees to that as the chapter ends. And with the wholesome ending to the chapter done, I'm going to get into my final thoughts as well as a bit of prediction. My final thoughts are just about how terrible Vesper's plan is. The more you get into it, sure, it was crazy for her to think that she could, seduce him and get him to marry her just because you already had a negative interaction with each other. However, weirder things have happened in the real world. People who didn't like each other when they first met have grown to find out who each other are and then fall in love and get married. But still odd. But I could get over that, right? Like, a delusional thought, but still, you can maybe give her a little bit of leeway on, hey, it might work. But as it goes deeper into the fact that you already think he's affiliated with this group or is somehow within their circle because he came representing them, which means he knows them enough and they know him enough for them to allow him to represent them and him to feel comfortable enough to represent them. So even just assuming that they would probably offer him the same exact deal, what is it that he's getting out of this deal with you? And I get that probably in her head, the icing on the cake of the deal itself was that they would be dating. But given that that falls through, it means that the icing on top of the cake was worthless. And then on top of the fact that Jiwoo didn't want the support either, it's just a worthless cake with worthless icing on top of it at the end of the day. So there was just no research done before trying to come up with this plan. But that's enough on that thought. Just crazy delusional plan, and now the denial on top of the delusion is gonna get so bad. I just know this is gonna get so much worse probably. Which leads me into my predictions, because I'm gonna put my money down on this one. I'm going to 100% say that somehow Vesper is going to see Ji Woo and Ji Young either going to lunch or at lunch, or somehow she's going to see them together having a good time, and she's going to get super mad and more than likely call these men who she has underneath of her thumb to come and either, I'm just going to guess, probably try to attack Ji Young, but that doesn't sound like a smart plan. But then again, none of Vesper's plans are smart. So I'm gonna imagine maybe they're gonna attack Ji Woo, because Ji Young is supposed to be within the top 50 as far as they know. So where's the top 100? She's somewhere in like the world rankers ranking as far as they know. So I guess it would make sense for them to attack Ji Woo, and I don't know where it's going to go from there or how it's going to evolve. Like one of the two of them is probably going to get attacked, and then that's how we're going to get into the fight itself. However, I have been talking about the possibility of a fight for a couple chapters here about how it's going to build to it, and it hasn't. So I might be wrong here. We might leave this, but highly doubt that, because I feel like the fact that we didn't like kind of slide out of this story a couple chapters back means that we're about to go through it fully. So, my canon event, my 100% money down bet is that somehow Vesper is going to see Jiwoo and Ji Young. But after that, it's a lot of speculation as far as what I said. And that's probably about it for my predictions. The only other thing I could think is that maybe it'll take a little while for these influential guys, quote unquote, to get together. So maybe still crossing my fingers but not holding my breath, we'll get the group back, and maybe that'll be their reintroduction fighting these guys, because I'm imagining it's going to be a lot of them, or at least a handful. But with my thoughts, the predictions, and the recap out of the way, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave your boy a like and a subscribe. And if you have any thoughts on the chapter itself, please leave a comment down below. I'm also streaming here on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, so if you got the time, please stop by. But with that, please have a good day or evening, and I'm out. Peace.